Whip it up, sonny.
Queen, let's see the cards you dealt. Test me, girl, let's see if I'm melt.
I want the coochie, she's Louis, so I give it up.
So my brother's dead, we've run a gang, he's murdered people, we've shot people, we've kidnapped him, we've tortured him, we've sold drugs, we've done all that for what? Now my best friend's dead and I'm in jail. I remember just going to my cell, slamming the door, dropped to my knees and saying, God, whatever you want me to do, I'ma do. Please forgive my sins, and I hope you take my soul, but everything you want me to do, I'll go through, I will go through. Look what's happened doing it my way. And then through that I started changing my life, but that destroyed me. And the joke is what the Gary used to tell me to do, go and get a job. So when he died, I was extra hurt. I thought, if I would have did what he told me to do, I probably could have saved him if I went to the basketball. And even if I didn't make it to America, I would have got £250,000. I could have brought a house in a nice part of Manchester. So I had to take that on board. And I only did that when a school kid said to me, you're part of the reason your brother's dead. And I went kicking off because she was young. I was like, what do you mean? I was in jail. And she went, 1 minute, calm down. She went, every time you came out of jail, Gary knew you were going to go back to the same thing. So Gary and you knew that you had each other, so you were always going to do the same thing. Maybe if you took one of your free basketball opportunities, you could have saved him. I remember going back to prison and thinking, that little kid's right. I blamed the cops, I blamed the government for putting the drugs and the guns in the hood. I blamed everyone, my mum, but your mum never put a gun in your hand. It was you and him that decided to do that.
Manchester was called Gunchester, you know. So Manchester was called Gunchester because there was so many murders in Manchester that it was renowned throughout the world as one of the murder capitals at the time. I was involved in that. I was now a part of it. I've been hearing when I was in Rusholme, you know, I used to hear Gooch, Dodderton, gangs, da-da-da-da. You'd always just hear about them. One day you might just see a big car, woof, come flying down the street and someone will go, yo, that's them. Honestly, bro, these guys are like action heroes. Next thing, bro, fast forward, I'm 16, 17, and I'm around him.
Seeing man like pop, pop. Well, I'm just thinking, yeah, it's just
impressive.
Just blank. Now I'm thinking it's blank
Impressive.
firers. Now I thought it's blank firers. Because I remember seeing certain holders at times, yeah.
Thank you.
I've seen man sometimes with holsters, with things in holsters, and I said, right, well, how come you've got that? And man say, oh, it's just a blank firer. So naive old me, naive young me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I'm in the club now, I'm gonna like, I'm thinking, yeah, it's just blank firers, because I'm probably thinking, man, I'm not gonna be. I've not been out to a club before, but that's the least of my expectations that man are gonna be letting off live rounds in a club. Until I see bits of the ceiling flying out now.
Chip out.
And then I thought, actually, I better step away from it. And then I'll go over there. You know what I'm saying? And someone upstairs, yeah, a woman got licked with something through the ceiling, got it in the leg, yeah.
Is Moorside the most dangerous area in the United Kingdom? Home to some of the most notorious criminals in the United Kingdom. Moorside has built a reputation for gang wars involving drugs since the 80s, only getting worse each year. The area's biggest problems, with gun crime rates being so high that there had recently been 400 armed incidents reported within a 12-month period, with even a mass shooting with a shotgun taking place, with 12 injured in 2018 at a Jamaican carnival.
One time was getting chased by the police in Vauxhall Carlton. So we're getting chased by the police. We're flying round a roundabout. So as we're flying around the roundabout, it's in like rush hour traffic. So I've had to go on the curb. So when I've gone on the curb, our heroes come running out of Spar and tried to stop some. We swerved round him, clipped him, and then we've gone flying down the road. But where it's rush hour, the lane we're supposed to be in was jam-packed, so we've had to go in the other lane, flying down this road. A coach has started coming towards us from the lights over the road, so I'm bombing down this road. My mate's in the passenger. He's like, Kieran, but I know what I'm doing. I need to get down this road and take this left. So he's like, Kieran. I'm saying, chill out, man. And then we've done the corner, got off the way. We actually got away from the chase.
Holy shit.
But when we've got away, so as we was going back to where we need to go. I was bombing down this road again. A car's pulled out, but I've had it under control, so I'm braking. My mate's pulled the handbrake up, so he's pulled the back wheels are locked up. We started bouncing off cars. Then we've jumped out and ran, but there was a guy in the back. And then I'm saying to my mate, where's he? He's gone, nah, he's ran that way, So I'm saying, all right, sweet, ran off. He's only been in the back of the car, knocked out from the crash. And then we've got off. He's been nicked. A few days later, we got nicked. But at that point there, all he had to do was arrest me for dangerous driving. Do you know what I mean? Hit and run. But they threw robberies on me, this and that, and didn't even put the dangerous driving on.
When you said NFA, you want to explain to people what that means?
So NFA is no further action. So basically, you'll get arrested, then bailed, then a few months later, you either get charged or no further action. Do you know what I mean? So that's NFA.
So on the joyriding then, how did they catch you?
I've only been arrested 3 times for joyriding. 3 times. So the one time was that chase I was talking about. Another time where what car was we in? I think we was in a Rover 214. But at this time, this is when we started like stealing Metros. Do you know what I mean? And back then you could just put a screwdriver in a Metro and start it. So we're flying around in this Metro and we got chased by armed response. But where we've gone down this road and gone through an alleyway, the armed response couldn't fit. So at that point, like young kids, we're thinking, we found the Holy Grail. They can't catch us. Do you know what I mean? They can't catch us. So this is the getaway every time. So this one day, was in this Rover 214. My mate's driving. I'm in the passenger. S3 pulls up behind us, unmarked, starts flashing. We weren't even bothered. We're thinking, yeah, you don't even know what's happening. We found it. We've got the getaway. So I'm just in the passenger, just chilling, going to just go through there. He's gone through there. They've come through. What? No way. They got through it. How did they do it? The plan's failed and all that. Then crashed, but my doors got jammed. So when they've jumped out, they've ran. My door got jammed and I just got nicked. Then the 3rd time, this was a mad one. I wasn't even in the car, but again, it was a stolen car. 3 of my mates are sat in the car. I was stood outside with 2 girls. So it was a hot summer's day. We've sent some guy to the shop for ice lollies and that. So he's gone to the shop. We stood there for ages thinking, where is he? So they've gone, we're gonna go around and see where he is. All right, sweet. They've gone to go around. After they've gone to go around, we was in a cul-de-sac, by the way. As they've gone to pull out, police have come in that way and one's come running through the alleyway. So I'm looking at them thinking, oh shit, you're finished. But I weren't in the car, so I'm thinking, yeah, sweet. They've been pulled out of the car, sat on the curb, cuffs on. So the policeman's looking at me. This policeman, me and him had this cat and mouse relationship. So he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, but I've got this smug look on my face. And he's like, you're lucky, aren't you? So I'm not lucky, I weren't in the car, it's nothing to do with me. I told you I'm not a criminal. So he's like, yeah, all right. He's got on the radio and he's gone, so what about Proverbs? I've heard the operator come back and say, yeah, nick him too. What? Nick me for what? I should have just left from the start. So I got nicked then, but same thing again. We've gone in there. They've locked us up for like a string of robberies and all this. Was in the police station for about 3 days.
It was a gang called LHG, Little Hill Gang. From where I'm originally from, you know, and where my family's from. But I don't know none of these kids. I've maybe come across them with my uncle, but I've never chilled with them. And they used to just come on a party, used to beat everybody up, and they used to flipping rob everybody's stuff and bounce. And when he came this night, I was like, he's not robbing me, because I was just angry and I just wanted to fight and flipping get into problems. Anyway, me and this one kid, we get into an argument. I'm saying, you're not robbing me. I had a mate that was there that I remember from school. He had a little comb over. I said, no, don't run. He didn't run. And then as me and this kid are arguing, and he can see I'm not scared of him, he pulls out a gun. And as he pulls out this gun, I've only at this point seen guns on television. So I don't understand the ramifications of getting shot you know. So I said, put that down, come on the grass and I'll smack you already. And he's freaking him out that I'm not scared. Really, I'm naive. And he's like, I'm from Cheetah Mill. I'm from Cheetah Mill. Crumsell, where my first house was, is next to Cheetah Mill. All my family's from Cheetah Mill. So I started naming all. He's like, who do you know from Cheetah Mill? So I started naming even the straight members in my family. And then when I got to a certain uncle's name, he classed my uncle as his uncle as well, because of my uncle's position in the hood. Everyone just respected him. He'd give the kids money and that kind of thing. And that was that. That's how I ended up in a gang. Me and this kid made friends. Me and this kid started chilling, and he was interested in making some dough and looking after himself as well. And that was that, you know. We got to the streets. The gang would come to get me from school. So I'd been like flipping geography, and 15 man would turn up from Cheetah Mill, ballied up, gloved up, looking for me. And they'd just burst into my lesson. They'd be like, Bugs, come. And that was that, do you know what I mean? And then we'd just be, and the teachers thinking, what's going on here? And we'd just be out on the roads, you know. So quite quickly I was making myself at home in the gang, you know. I had nowhere to live. My household was dysfunctional, so I understood everybody's home situation, which is where, when you see a lot of the stabbings and all that going on the street, that's where it really kind of stems from, is the household being all over the gaff. The gang became my family, you know, and I loved them, and I would have died for them, you know, and they would have died for me.
He was rewriting British boxing history. And he was talking about the amount of talent here. And why was he no boxing club?
More like a father figure than a trainer.
Moss Side ABC, there were fighters that were overachieving.
I'm having fights, and I'm not just having fights, I'm knocking them out.
He's a hater, and I mean with a passion, he's a hater.
End of the day, they were from Manchester, they were unfashionable, they were from Moss Side, M14.
See me rolling with that bally off, bally on. Stress got me fucked up, about to get my rally on. Murder, red rum, nigga getting shot up for fucking how you act on. My aiming it bang on. You don't wanna act hard, the metal in my backyard, devil in my black heart. Bad boy shot it gun, shot it up your black ass. Now you can't fucking run. Forget my pass out, bad boy me nah run. Bad boy me nah shit it. We live in money where niggas still blood and crip it.
Yeah. Free all the boys, man. Free all the boys. Rest in peace, Lewis. Rest in peace, all the fallen. Yeah. In the sunshine. Yeah. Yeah. Check. Yo, and this is hardly life. Sitting in my gaff, watching Goodbye Charlie Bright, thinking about living, wishing on a starry night. Knowing I can't give him, but sometimes I find it hard to fight. Now I'm like past the green leaf and the Charlie White. Past the pencil and some paper and past the mic. Like, it's hella hard to find a balance. Thinking, should I push drugs or should I push my talent?
In November 2020, 16-year-old John Sawyer was brutally murdered on the streets of Manchester. In the days after, a group of his friends joined a Telegram chat to vent their anger and grief.
I lost someone I regard as not only a great friend, but also a family member.
18 months later, a court was told that the 10 teenagers in the chat were members of a violent and brutal gang who plotted a revenge attack.
It was always like conspiracy to murder who, because that's not ever clear.
The trial would result in all 10 being sent to jail for a total of 131 years.
Police and prosecutors are conflating so-called gang behaviour with what is actually just normal black youth culture.
One of them was Ade, a promising athlete and student. He'd been head boy at his school and offered a place to study law at university. He was one of the 4 teenagers convicted solely for their involvement in the group chat. They each got 8 years in prison.
We are the next faces of the future. We are the new doctors, the lawyers, politicians.
So how did a group chat lead to jail? I'm Yomi, and I was brought up in the same area of Manchester as Ade. I met him when we were working together at a charity, and he interviewed me for his book he was writing with his friend Alex. I haven't seen him for a couple of years. I was shocked when I heard about his conviction. I'm going back to Manchester because I want to understand what happened. A gang planned to murder their rival following the killing of their 16-year-old leader in a revenge attack. In the days following John's murder, the M40 gang plotted their revenge in group chats.
If it can happen to him, it can happen to anyone. Because everyone's in group chats now. Everyone's connected to everyone anyway. You got me? I can find a link between me and the person sat next to me on a train if I wanted to, kind of thing. So it's like everyone's connected.
After reading the news reports, I was left with questions about the conspiracy law that was used in the case.
The use of conspiracy in criminal cases has increased dramatically in the last few years because now, because of social media, there is evidence which is lasting, and so things said without real thinking are given a different meaning, context when they're looked at forensically in the months, years to come.
But what makes something a conspiracy? And why did the court think Ade was in on one?
Establishing an agreement is all that needs to be proved for a conspiracy. So the prosecution formed the view, undoubtedly, that Ade was part of an agreement intending to cause serious harm to others. The central feature of the case against Ade was his contribution to the Telegram chat. Even though tributes were paid during the course of the chat to John, his life, their friendship, the conversation developed and there was talk of revenge. Essentially, Ade's involvement was to provide a postcode, and the prosecution case was that Ade's intention was to enable other people within the group to find one of the individuals it was thought had been involved in the death of John Sioye.
Roxy is a youth worker who knows Ade well and watched the whole trial.
Ade shared a postcode in that chat. Nothing happened to that postcode. No one mentioned in that Telegram chat came to any harm.
This is a bit I'm not getting. If no one mentioned in the chat Ade was in got hurt, then what were the revenge attacks I'd read about in the reports? And what exactly was everyone's involvement?
So there were 3 incidences of harm. On November 10th, Boy 1 and Boy 2 were involved in a non-violent chase at their college. On December 16th, Boy 1 used a knife against another young person, whilst Boy 3 was present. Then on the 28th of December, Boy 3 went with 3 other individuals that we don't know who they are. And he was present when another person, again, had a knife used on them. And he was hit with a car.
Okay, there was violence and people were hurt. But how did it link to the others in the trial?
What you see is, despite the fact that actually at those harms only 2 of the boys in the case were present and only 1 directly harmed someone, all of those are dragged in and said that they intended for those things to happen.
Block gets hot like Niger. I used to be a well-known 9er boss, switched up for a brick and a Leica.
We've all seen this freestyle filmed outside a secondary school in Manchester, but what led to this young boy's tragic death just months later? On the 5th of November 2020, bonfire night, Alexander John Soyoye, also known as MD and Morsley, found himself in a fatal encounter in the Moston area of Manchester. Masked men, seeking revenge in an ongoing rivalry, confronted MD and his group as they walked along Moston Lane. 13 males armed with machetes and bats stormed toward MD's group, Brent Chipenda targeting MD, leading to a confrontation where both sustained injuries. MD, realizing he was stabbed, attempted to flee, but his injuries would slow him down, resulting in a second brutal attack. Surrounded by 9 males, MD was stabbed and kicked to death, all while the assailants filmed the sinister incident. The rival group fled. One who sustained an injury from MD was seeking medical attention and headed to Royal Oldham Hospital in a taxi. He walked into an emergency ward alone and told staff he had been assaulted. The others in the taxi made off, taking his rucksack and blood-stained outer clothing. Police then became suspicious of Brent's explanation of his injuries and later arrested him on suspicion of murder.
Ask about me in the bank, I had the wing locked. Ask about me in the streets, I had the ting cocked. I never missed a call when I let the ting ring off. Popped up on his block and not his inbox. Money over beef, I was handling the beef first. Had to do the homework, had to do the research. 10 toes putting in the work until my feet hurt. Trying to put 10 holes in a man's t-shirt. G since knee high, never hit a knee cut. Food in the 4-5, send man feedback. These days I ain't trying to be where the beef's are. Been there, done that, I don't really need that. More fire for the booth, I'm official. Lethal with the missile, I made a thing pow like Bizzle. I had to make it blow like a whistle. Like Jim Brown, everything shower, no drizzle. Gangster since little, man was running from the dibble. I saw guns before I even played Piggy in the middle. By the age of 17, I was playing with a pistol. And ever since then, the gunplay's been official.
Hiding gets your bitch touched. Bullets flying through windscreens. My mum's seen all of that. Can't tell me about shit's peak. Man's been more than brass. Bullets flying this way, no bread. I couldn't afford a mash. Ting comes with a nose knot, cause you yearly stuck.
Flow's got a power kick, R-rate. Send them in space, Stargate. Get off in a spaceship, Star Trek. They do not want it, man, a bar back. Send me old school with the hot knock. Run a man down, stop off. You like her, but she don't like you, no. Likes me, I'm bad like I'm knockoff. One more, just say, I'll burst it. Big man, no cheese, no gherkin. Them man, tell lies, they're vermin. Spray can, bad gas, they're burping. T5, both from, I'm lurking. Just one of my guys, it's curtain. Tryna get a bag, no Birkin. Don't make sense and you swerving. I'm in the jungle with them sinners and them killers. We got spinners, we got dingers, we got chingers. Bugs on the street, corner drug dealers. Don't follow no man, I got a vision. Skirting on the beat, I might crash at a collision. If you gotta ride or die, then you gotta keep her. She ain't looking, old man, when you're in the prison. Don't believe till it's proved, they ain't kidding.
Hey, see? Yo, this body rubble, you know. Come in, singer.
A vest don't mean shit in Bromtown. Man invest and it's still getting gone down. And man, it got called Gonchester. Come on, we're getting smoked left, right and centre.
You know when Rara and Rem trucks have touched down. You know we're on smoke from Money back to Bromtown. If I run you down, you know it's man down. When real G's link up, you know it's a shutdown.
The trap line's booming, we're the second largest out of the city. This one came over by a half out, so tall, bro, pass it all out to the nitties. Hard work and dedication pays off, but there's certain methods to make them cats ring. Close with family, the amount of people are motivated to start this track. In the way I got skills in the kitchen, I could have been a master chef and wrote me a cookbook. I like debadging, hypo, ding dongs in it for the speed, not in it for a good look.